Welcome to the Disreputable Podcast. My name is Brandon, and we're in my car. We're trying something fun here. This is what we're going to call the Ride Along. Maybe it's edition, maybe it's the Ride Along Podcast. We're not quite sure. It's still all under the Disreputable, of course. But today we're going to go meet a friend. And everything he does in his car. And so I thought I would jump in my car. And I have Torrin. Torrin's here with me. And we're going to talk some disreputable things. And then we're going to go meet him at a park. And we're going to talk about what he's doing in the community. And I hope that you like this. I hope this is fun. I hope it switches it up. I hope that we don't crash. That would be very important as we head into a wonderful time of the year. But thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. And of course, like always, share, subscribe, send to a friend. I know it's going to be a little bit different. And the next ride along, I promise you, we'll have Dean back with us. And we'll be able to answer all sorts of disreputable things. Which reminds me, make sure that you're sending us topics that you want us to talk about. We can keep coming out with stuff. But, man, I would love to hear from you. I'd love to get feedback, what you like about the Disreputable Podcast, all those things. So, thanks for tuning in today. I'm going to try my best to look at you and keep my eye on the road. And I can't wait for you to meet my friend. But Torrin is with us. And Torrin, say hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Thanks for joining me in my car. I think you're going to hit me with some rapid fires. Is this accurate?
Yep, I've got some quick questions to ask you.
I would like everyone to know right now, I have not done any type of premise. Is that the right word? What's the word I'm looking for here, Torrin? Not premise. I don't know what these questions are. Okay, so
you have no foresight. You haven't seen them yet. You haven't heard them yet.
Yeah, there we go. Exactly.
On the spot.
You know, we call the Disreputable Podcast the uncut edition. And I really appreciate that about this podcast. Because you know when you see something that's like so polished, nobody ever forgets a word or nobody or whatever. Anyways, I'm going to sip this coffee while you start asking some questions.
All right. Well, let's start off with what's your go-to coffee?
Okay. Well, we just left Starbucks a moment ago. And I ordered a tall Americano. It is 5 o'clock in the afternoon right now. And as I pull up to the window, the lady goes, "Hey, aren't you the quad Americano guy?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's me." So typically it's at 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, quad Americano. But every now and then you need to pick me up. So I'm an Americano. I don't get all the frou-frou stuff in it. I keep it rich. So
there you go. Keep it classic.
Keep it classic. Yep.
All right. What's inspiring you right now?
Oh, good question. What is inspiring me right now? What is inspiring me right now? I'm inspired right now by the way brands market. I like marketing. I think when you build a brand like we've built with our church, with the Disreputable Podcast, I get to I get to market, I get to advertise, I get to build a brand, an icon, if you will, in some ways. But I'm inspired by the way I see people, the way people build brands. I'm inspired by the way they handle adversity, with the way they handle certain PR things. I'm inspired by clothing, clothing brands, the way they put out, certain articles, certain colors. Yeah, I'm inspired by churches, other churches. I'm inspired by other churches who've had to be innovative during seasons of uncertainty. So, yeah, one thing I learned a long time ago was that I would allow anything. To me, inspiration is in the eye. So I want to whatever I look at, I think it can inspire me in a way that maybe I don't want to be like that, or maybe that I do. So anything, you know, any type of thing.
What brands are crushing it right now?
Good question. You know, the whole thing, you know, talk about a disreputable matter, if you will. I'm a Nike guy, okay? Like I love Nike. And with all that Lil Nas X Satan shoe, I don't know if Nike's crushing it right now. Sorry for the bumps. It's part of the ride along. I don't know if they're crushing it right now, because I know for whatever reason they might have taken somewhat of a hit from some people. But in other areas, they are winning. I know that's a disreputable statement, and I know that maybe there'll be some Christians that are out there like, are you kidding me? I'm not giving applause to the shoe or applause to what they did to the shoe. Although I did see a Chick-fil-A shoe that said 316 on it. I thought that was funny. So I think Nike always has a unique way of doing great things. My wife works for True. It's a golf company. You want to talk about a brand that's crushing it? Is True Linkswear. And I'm not plugging because they're some of my friends, although they are, and I wear their shoes pretty much every day. But you want to talk about a brand that's like stepped up in the industry. I mean, they are innovating some of the most creative stuff. Yeah, so those would be two that, like, off the top of my head that I like.
Yeah. What's your go-to late night snack?
Okay, bro. My go-to late night snack, just put me on blast out here. I don't really snack, dude. Like, to be honest, I'm not a big snacker. This coffee's so hot, I keep wanting to take a sip. I'm sure you're noticing that as I go to sip. And then it's like, it's so hot, I don't even want to sip it. Yeah, I'm not a big snacker. So if I did have to go to something, I would go to the flavor blasted goldfish. Okay? Cheese, of course.
There you go.
I'm not into like the pizza. But I do want to say that you should try, if you've ever heard of combos. Have you ever heard of combos?
No.
Okay. Try the pizza pretzel combos. They're pretty delicious. I'm not a sweets guy, so if you can tell, I'm like more into the, what do you call it, savory. I'm more into the salty.
Yeah, savory snacks.
Cracker, you know?
Yeah. We'll put a link in the bio.
Yeah, I'm like plugging so many things right now.
All the companies mentioned.
Yeah, come on, sponsor me. I'm sponsored by Combos. Like, who's sponsored by Combos, you know?
That's awesome.
Ridiculous.
All right, so you're a pastor.
Yeah, I am.
If you weren't a pastor, what would you do?
Ooh.
Right now at this season in your life?
Yeah, I would work as a stockbroker. I would be on like stock exchange. There's something about that I just love. I love the idea of Times Square, although it's probably not busy much right now, but the old idea of Times Square, New York, stock exchange, just wheeling and dealing. I used to want to be I thought I wanted to be a stockbroker for a little while. I also thought I wanted to be a weatherman. I don't really know why I wanted to be a weatherman. But I enjoy weather. I get like super geeked out when it's gonna snow. I'm like, you know, checking the percentages and looking at the cumulus clouds. I don't know, stratus, cumulus, like all those things. I enjoyed science a little bit in school too. So, yeah. So no, I don't want to be a weatherman. I did want to enjoy being a weatherman, but right now, as I'm 37 years old, if I wasn't a pastor, I would probably be a business owner for sure. More than, you know, I already am now. And I would probably own some type of like platform, motivation, coaching. I like to better people, bro. try to help businesses, think exponentially. I feel like that's what I do right now already. I just get to do it with a pastor's hat or a smiley face hat. But yeah, I think that would be something fun.
Right on.
Yeah.
What's the last movie you saw?
Oh my gosh. What was the last movie? Sonic.
Yeah?
Yeah, Sonic. I watched it with Shepard. Shepard's my son. He's 5.
What would you rate it? As a grown man watching a kid.
10.
10?
10. Dude, Jim Carrey is hilarious. Have you seen Sonic?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, watch Sonic. It's hilarious. It's so funny. It's like bringing back childhood memories. I was born in 83, so I played Sonic on Sega, like the whole thing. So it's like I'm on the high end, I guess, the older end of a millennial. And if you're a millennial and you're watching this and you haven't seen Sonic and you have children, you've probably already seen it if you have children, but you got to watch it. The adult movie, the last adult movie I have seen, I don't know, bro. I don't think I have seen an adult movie in a long time. Yeah, I think that's it.
So you mentioned your dad.
Yeah.
What would you say is one of the most rewarding things about being a dad right now?
Oh, man.
And the most challenging thing about being a dad right now?
The most rewarding thing about being a dad is just being. It's just being. I mean that in its full entirety. It's just BEING, just being. Like present, being there, being active, being in the good days, the bad days, just being like it's something that no one can steal from you. It's the highlight of my life, really. I love being a dad. I love being a dad. And it comes with its challenges too. Its challenges are, navigating through, I'm sure like most parents, navigating through this kind of a pandemic of what's next and raising them up to be leaders and to not be brainwashed. That's a challenge. To not just believe everything that you see, but to think about it and to internalize it. And so watching your kids kind of grow up. I have a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old. My 8-year-old's in 2nd grade, so she's starting to understand a little bit more, wants to know more, ask questions more, and you feel like you want to make sure you give them the doesn't have to be the right answer, but you want to make sure we give them an answer that's going to shape them for the rest of their life, really. And so, yeah, it has its challenges, but man, I'll tell you what, there's nothing like being a dad. There's nothing like being a dad. I love it.
That's awesome. What's something you're looking forward to right now in life?
I'm writing a book, and I'm looking forward to the day that I complete it. and I'm the one in charge of that, clearly. But yeah, it's been a long road. It's been a long road, man, to do this. Part of it's to tell the right story. But I think I found my lane in what I'm trying to say and I want to say, and I found the right people to help me. I'm not a big reader, so I don't want to come across like I'm the guy that's whatever. I like to be educated. I like to learn, but because of my eye disorder, sometimes it's a little bit more difficult to read. So I can do audiobooks, but then you kind of just space out. So I say that to say, I want to write a book that I will enjoy reading. And I was close to writing a book, and it was almost done. Oh, I saw him. And let me whip around here. And as I was reading it, I didn't even want to read it. I didn't even want to read my own book. So I know it's like, oh, you should have just put it out there. You should have just published it. Somebody would. But I have convictions about that. So yeah. So I am looking forward. Was that the question, bro?
Yeah. What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the day that I publish this book, man, and I'm excited. I'm trying to do it by the end of this year, and I got 4, 7, 8 months to go. I guess 8 months. We're gonna do it.
Any sneak peek? Anything you can tell us?
Yeah, I can tell you a little bit. It's gonna be not for the faint at heart. You know, I have a story, man, and I'm sure most like our listeners, you like Disreputable Podcast, not because your life is perfect, probably. You know, you there's something about this Disreputable Podcast that people connect to, whether it's through Dean's story, my story, something that you're trying to be perfect. That's why I know this is different for people, because it's kind of bouncing a little bit. It doesn't feel polished, but that's a little bit like our lives, man. So it's gonna be a little disreputable. It's not called Disreputable. I would give you the name, but I'm not quite sold. I'm close. But it'll just be stories of. It's gonna be 10 stories. I'll give you that. It's 10 chapters with 10 stories that are disreputable. Look at this guy. What's up, my man?
Living life, living true, living good, man.
My man. All right, let me park.
All right, cool.
And then we'll do this.
All right, cool.
Yep. So this is Kwabi. He drives the Peace Bus. He's going to explain to you everything. We're not taking a break. We're going to get out, follow me, and we're just going to go have a conversation. He's a good man, does great things in the community, and I can't wait for you to hear from him. So let's do it. What's up, bro? Thanks for taking time to do this.
Most definitely,
We're just gonna keep going. He's rolling.
Okay.
We've been
Yeah.
rolling on the way
Yeah.
here.
No
We don't
worries.
have to no cuts or anything. We're just gonna do
Okay.
it. How you doing?
Been good, man. Can't complain. It's been doing a lot of work in the community, and at the same time, just keeping my head on straight and trying to look towards the future and what the Peace Bus is and what we're going to be doing in the future. But along with that, staying in the present, right? Staying in the present is really important. So
Yeah.
in doing that, trying to be peaceful.
Yeah, bro, you're doing that. So I want to give a little backstory because we got different
Okay.
types of viewers.
Cool.
I told him that I was getting in my car,
Okay.
which you have the Peace Bus,
Mhm.
and I have the Prosperous Passat. Okay,
It's nice, yeah.
I make that up. I just literally make it up. But I don't know. It just literally came. I didn't want to steal peace. I had to think of another word.
Okay.
But give a little backstory. We call this podcast the Disreputable Podcast,
Okay.
which we describe as reputation that maybe other people disagree with.
Okay.
You make a decision to do something, and
Okay.
someone thinks, hold on a second, you shouldn't have done, like, that goes against status quo.
Okay.
It doesn't feel like, it's disreputable. Like,
Like,
why would you choose to do that?
yeah, something out of the ordinary, something different.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then all of a sudden people have different opinions,
Mhm.
and then they say, oh, Kwabi, oh, the Peace Bus, you know?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
some people say, oh, Kwabi, the Peace Bus, you know, there's just
Yeah.
different. So give people a little bit of a backstory about the Peace Bus,
Yeah.
how it got started,
Okay.
and then we'll talk a little bit about like what are some things that you've kind of experienced in your life,
Okay.
and then some of the things that you might even teach
Okay.
through the Peace Bus.
Yeah.
That is a little bit disreputable, you know?
For sure. I like that. I like that concept. It's a good show concept. So the Peace Bus got started. I was challenged by an elder in the community, right?
Okay.
I was in grad school trying to figure things out, and I was still feeling unfulfilled. I was there for business, right? We got a lot of people there for business trying to make money, which is great. That's a good way to, you make money in order to fulfill somewhat of your potential in a certain sense. Money gives you, provides you the ability to have your creativity, to see it put out into the world.
Right.
But I was still feeling unfulfilled, and I think a lot of times we miss out on this concept of reaching out to the elders in the community as a way of guidance, right? It's sort of like an old art form of doing this sort of thing. So I reached out to an elder in the community. They were my old academic advisor named Peter Bacho, awesome guy.
Where at? What school?
This is the Evergreen State College Tacoma campus.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I reached out to him. I was like, Peter, Dr. Bacho, I'm struggling. What do you think I should do if I want to have essentially more happiness in my life? And he thought, well, you need to stop asking yourself what you want to be and start looking at who do you want to be. And I was like, oh, well, wait a minute. Like, what? This is weird. This is a different concept, right?
Yeah.
But I took that advice and I really got by myself and started thinking about what that meant. Like, who do I want to be?
Yes.
And I thought, well, if I were to take away all my identities, like, okay, so say I wasn't an African-American male, raised in Tacoma, Washington, what would I want out of life if I was just not me, someone else? And I thought, well, at any rate, I like seeing people from different backgrounds, different ways of life coming together for a good cause. Yeah. I love it. I get my kicks out of it, right? And I felt that was peace, right? Yeah. How can we get together as one people and work in positivity? Right. And that's where it really started. That's where the genesis of this whole concept came about. And actually, I started traveling different parts of Tacoma and different parts of the country, actually, with these posters. One says, war's not the answer, and one says, peace, love, peace, and justice for all. Wow. And I started taking this across different countries. So I went to Europe with these posters, and I would go around, and like say you were a person I didn't know, I'd be like, hey, what's going on? Hey, and I got these posters, and I would ask you, what does peace mean to you? And sooner or later, we're having a conversation about the aspect of peace. Okay. And so I was doing that, came back home, and a guy asked me, he said, Kwabi, you've gone overseas and done all this peace work. What are you going to do with it? And I was like, I don't know. He's like, well, we should make videos. And I was like, I'm not the video kind of guy. I'm good. Maybe I'll just talk to people when I come in contact with them. He's like, no, you should make videos. So I started making videos talking about peace. They didn't do well. No one really watched them. It's okay, you know. Yeah. It's all learning process. You try to figure out where your niche is. And I came across this guy named A.B. Nathan in my research. Have you heard of A.B. Nathan?
No, I have not.
Okay, good. Yeah. So A.B. Nathan was an Israeli humanitarian around in the 60s and 70s, and he was a pilot. And he flew an airplane called the Peace One from Tel Aviv, Israel, all the way to Egypt to promote better relations between Arabs and Jews, two factions of people that have been at odds for a while now. Right. Yep. And so I thought, wow, that's amazing. I want to be a peace pilot. So I started taking flight lessons everywhere in this area, right? Wanted to become a peace pilot, and it was too expensive, Brandon. Yeah, it's way too expensive. So I settled. I
mean, where are we going to get a plane?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Later on in life, it's going to happen. Yeah, I believe it. But for right now, I went with the Peace Bus, and that's how the Peace Bus got started. A vehicle that I could use in order to drive around town and promote peace and distribute goods to people in need.
I pause because I want people to understand that this isn't just like a show. Yeah. It's not just an Instagram thing. It's not just like a one-off. Like, yeah, when I get to it, like this is who you are. Yeah. This is, you know what I mean?
Yeah, most definitely, man. Most definitely.
So, through the Peace Bus, we've partnered a couple times,
for sure.
But you've done food giveaways.
Breakfast fund. Yeah. Santa Claus.
We were chatting the other day. You did a thing in one of the parking lots where you did like a live show.
Oh yeah, that was for the TV show. We had a drive-in premiere.
But you also have a TV show. Yeah. That's on YouTube.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes, the pilot episode's on YouTube. Yeah.
The pilot episode. And talk to me about the things that you're educating people about through these pilot episodes.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. The content of the Peace Bus is an elaboration of what I've heard, right? It's not just all me. Okay. This is an overall consensus of the ideas I've asked people about. I've gone around the world asking people the idea of what does peace mean to you, and through that overall consensus, I've come through the understanding that it is unity It is humanizing each other.
Right.
How can we live in society with peace when we are dehumanizing others and seeing them as less than, right? We can't do it. We can't do it. So these are the ideals that we push with the Peace Bus, whether that's the TV show, whether that's me giving speeches, whether that's elaborating through comic strips, or even just giving to people in need, right?
Right.
We are equal based off our humanity, and that's something we stand by. So it's the main gist.
Say that again. We are equal.
We are equal based off our humanity.
Beautiful.
Humanity's first.
Right.
Then, we have our differences, which is okay.
Sure.
We're different people.
Right.
But we can never forget that we are human beings. We all bleed. We all breathe. These are commonalities that we have to hold on to.
Yeah. So when I say the word disreputable, from a guy that drives around in the Peace Bus, doesn't seem like, well, that's Kwabi, the Peace Bus guy, who I follow on Instagram, and he's jamming out to old school 19, going 80s or 90s?
Yeah, 80s always.
Cassette tapes, like, just looks like, why would everybody loves Kwabi? He's the Peace Bus guy.
Yeah.
When I say disreputable, does that, is there anything that like resonates with you?
Yeah, I think anytime you're speaking about some kind of truth, there's going to be people who don't want to hear it.
Good.
I think that's where that term comes into play. I speak a lot about the violence that we see in our community, a lot of the atrocities we see as a result of systemic violence. Poverty is violence. A lot of people don't see that or realize that. Yes, punching somebody is violence, but looking at poverty, looking at homelessness as a realm of violence and speaking out on that. There are systemic forces in place that want to keep people at a certain level, and we have to work together in order to alleviate that, so people can really reach their potentiality. Because if we really think about it, man, we want to solve all these problems that are in our world, and we have a number of people who have the potentiality or the means towards reaching the potentiality to solve them. Now, what if every human being had the ability to solve these problems with being able to have these stresses alleviated, poverty, lack of quality education, so then they could reach their potentiality and create a better world. We want more beauty, right?
Absolutely. Beautiful. So what's next? Well, you got a guitar?
Yeah,
Can you play?
Yeah, a little bit.
Come on, play us something, man.
I don't know, man. I'm not that good.
That's all right. Do you sing too?
Let's see.
All right. I'm telling you guys, this is going to be different.
Song I wrote, you might want to sing it. Not funny, no, don't worry. Be happy.
I like it.
Landlord say your rent is late. You may have to litigate. Don't worry. No, be happy. Yeah, man. I can't go that high. You know?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, man.
I got you.
Man. Yeah.
So, what's next for the Peace Bus, man?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
We are in a break period.
Yep.
We try to do a humanitarian aid campaign quarterly.
Okay.
But I know, Brandon, something that's going to be coming up this summer, it's going to be good.
Okay.
I don't know what it is quite yet, but I'm going to configure it out right now. And it's going to be massive. It's going to probably be big and help as many people as I can.
Like playing big?
Not playing big. Not playing big. Maybe I'm thinking maybe that's next year sometime.
Yeah.
You know.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
You know, when we first met, I don't know, we met through a friend, mutual friend.
Yeah.
Tim Marlowe.
Yep.
BD Local.
Yeah,
BD
Tim.
Local.
Shout out to Tim. That's the guy.
Our first ever season 1 podcast in his studio, and now we're in season 3. And,
Okay.
we do different. We're usually in studio, and Torrin and a few guys help us. And Torrin had a great idea. Let's do a little ride along.
Okay.
And pop fire some questions, which probably was super boring for everybody. Getting to the meat of this podcast, which was to meet you.
Okay.
And so we met through a mutual friend, you and I knew when I met you, I was like, I don't know how. I don't know. It might be sporadic, but there's something about this guy that I just love. And I love your work. I love what you do for this community. I love watching you on Instagram. You just bring joy. You bring joy to people. And it's peace, you know. But at the end of the day, man, so many people have such a reason to just be negative. And I'm sure maybe you have some things maybe growing up in your life that you could just be this like whatever, phooey on everything, but you have chosen to be happy, man.
Yeah, man, it's definitely a life choice. The concept of attitude can propel people into success, whatever that means to you, right?
Yeah.
Attitude is everything. It's between you failing and succeeding, the concept that's in the mind in order to see your vision become reality, and that's through the attitude of positive.
Absolutely. What does the Peace Bus need?
Peace Bus need?
What does the Peace
The
Bus
support
need?
of the people, which we've always had, The people of Tacoma
Okay.
have supported this through and through. It's actually amazing.
Okay.
People of Tacoma, thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. As well as community leaders like yourself helping me and aiding me along the way. I really can't ask for anything, man. Everyone's just been able to contribute and help along the way.
Yeah. Well, however we can help, we're with the Peace Bus. We're with Kwabi as much as we can. And this is your first introduction. We'll have you in the studio.
Okay.
Where we talk a little bit more, maybe more in depth, hear your story more. I mean, I'd love to dive into your story of growing up in Tacoma and just some of the things maybe you grew up in Tacoma, correct?
Yeah. University Place area.
Some of the things that maybe you experienced and just how we can continue to work together to better a community that we both love,
Yeah, for sure. I would love that.
Well, thanks for giving us your time, man.
Yeah.
I told you it'd be quick, man. But I appreciate you so much. And whatever we can do to continue to be together, we'll do it.
All right.
All right, man.
Thank you, bro.
All right, we'll see you soon.
Take it easy.
Yep. Did you hear something? I think so. They're playing ball over here. I'm pretty sure somebody shouted out my name. Because I'm known out here in these streets, man. I'm known out here in these streets, these ball streets. Like no one knows my name at all, Well, I told you that you would love Kwabi. He's got such a great story. Also know that it was cold, okay? I thought it was like shivering. It says it's 60 degrees. I completely disagree. I button my jacket up. I'm over here have a turtleneck on. But he's so great, man. Just look at this guy. I don't know. I love him. He's just he seems genuine. In a world torn, if you ask me, and anybody that's listening, in a world of fakeness, in a world where everybody posts their highlights, I appreciate Torn. I want to give a shout out to Torn because Torn's been asking us to do some uncut. We do uncut. We're always one cut guys, but not polished with the no filter. We don't have the best microphone right now. I can applaud that because in a world that is posting their best every time, like the fact that my seatbelt's not on.
This is uncut.
This is uncut for sure. And when you find a genuine brother, a guy when I say brother, I don't mean we don't talk every day. He gave 10 minutes of his time to do this. When you find somebody who's genuine, you respect them more. And I think that's what I would leave everyone with. I won't bore you on the way home with more rants unless you have questions. That's you, Torrin. You're gonna have to put the seatbelt on, man. But I would encourage everyone, man, to be real. People want to hear the real you. They want the real you. They want to know the real you, not the fake you. They want to learn about the real things in life. And I know there's a place for good posts and excellent content and excellent production. I'm for it. Trust me, I'm for it. But don't lose your authenticity. Authenticity creates vulnerability. And when there's vulnerability, trust is there. I was going to say that something miraculous can happen. But I know that maybe not everybody believes in the miraculous. missed it, but authenticity breeds, creates vulnerability. And when there's vulnerability, something special can take place. A partnership that you never even knew. When you're the real you. Some of my best friends, we don't have much in common. But man, when we come together, it just feels so. Work on being a you. It's a nice house. In a world where everything's trying to make you fake. Be you. Even to the point of being disreputable. Don't be afraid to be disreputable. I have a tattoo on my chest that says disreputable. Disreputable by some, but disgraced by no one. I never forget that. All right, my lips are getting tired of talking. Who would have thought? But thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sharing. I hope you enjoy it. The next ride along, Dean's with us. We're going to drop bars. And we're going to do carpool karaoke. I just said it. And I'm a man of my word. So, Dean Curry, carpool karaoke. Next up. Give us like 10 likes if that's what you want, okay? All right. We love you.